sign to get it back, we'll get it off the desk here. Right, thank you.
(6:06) work session.
Today, March 26, 2018 at 6:07. My name is Ann Trong. I'm Mayor Pro Tem. I will be seated here acting as the mayor because the mayor cannot make today. And I will call the work session in order. We're supposed to have Mr. Sophia Trin from Colorful World Foundation here, but I do not know what happened. But by the way, Mr. Fong, are you ready, ma'am? If you don't, I give you 2 minutes, okay?
Okay, take 2 minutes.
Yes, ma'am.
It's okay.
Mr. Fong will do the monthly financial report at this moment.
Okay. This too. Okay, it's a pleasure to present to you the financial for February 2018. As you will see that since we already closed the book and the audited financial statement came out, our budget beginning balance already reflected the actual fund balance for the month of February. And for February, we have revenue about $12.7 million, which make about $41.5 million for the year. And expenditure so far we have for February is $4.7 million, and for the year is about $29 million. That is to say revenue about 58% and expenditure 34%. So our fund balance for all the funds added together is about $50 million right now. And then the largest fund for the city is general fund, and again we changed the beginning fund balance to $7.1 million. And the revenue for the month of February is about $2.6 million, and the year to date is about $16.7 million, which is about 60%. For expenditure for February is $2.6 million as well, and the year to date is about $12.4 million. That is about 44%. So our fund balance for general fund stand at $11.4 million. Looking at the property tax, you can see that our property tax is almost the same as the predicted budget. And right now we collected for general fund about $8.7 million, which is almost 98%. And you can see that we will still a little bit more to go in order to collect 100% of it. And then for sales tax, again, it's a good news for Haltom City. The total sales tax for general fund, we collected about $4.2 million, which is about 46%. You can see that most of the fund, most of the months, we are a little bit above the budget. And looking 3-year comparison, and you can see that not counting November, because last year November was some adjustment, so it's very high. But you can see that the purple one for this year, except November, all are above last year. And looking at the numbers presented by the Comptroller's Office, the year, that is 2 months, January and February, you can see that Haltom City, the changes of about 11.16% for February, and the year is about 11%. That is, we are receiving sales tax above much more than last year. So are there any questions?
Ms. Fowler?
Ms. Funk, on the one of the comments in the first paragraph of your revenue, or the last paragraph of your revenue statement, was that the reoccurring donations were off. They weren't being captured correctly. Has that been corrected?
Not yet. We are still waiting for Haltom to give us the information, the analysis. So we will catch it. I mean, we will, when we receive the number, we will allocate it to the different funds.
Okay, so the donations are still being processed, but they're just not being allocated, correct?
Yes, because Haltom cannot have they receive the money, but they don't have the detail. They just have donations, but they cannot give us the detail which is which.
Okay, and the statement was fairly broad on lower activities. Some of the revenue funds were low due to lower activity, fewer citations, and recurring donation. I understood that, but which one do we have lower activities in?
Citations.
Okay. Which I don't have a problem with that. Okay, then on your expenditure portion, your last statement was expenditures for most funds were near or below budget level, which, I noticed that, but is there a reason for that on expenditures? Is it just because
some of them are
not loaded?
seasonal, like parks, and all those, and also the roads, we have to wait a little bit before the expenditure are being used.
Okay, and then on your fund balance sheet under Fund 14 Hotel Motel Tax, we've seen a little decrease in that on the expenditure side. Our revenues were up, but expenditures were down a little bit in that fund balance. And there were a couple of them I just looked at that seemed a little bit kind of, your capital improvement fund was, your expenditures were $387,000 and your revenues were $8,900.
Which one are you talking about?
Fund 32.
Fund 32, yes.
Is that for the Montreal Circle? Is that where the $387,000 shows up?
I have to check. He said it is.
Okay. Revenue summaries, and you gave us good footnotes on it, 1 through 9. But some of these funds seem to be and that's where I was saying on that hotel motel, we're only receiving 38%. And you made footnotes that they were short, running 38 to 34%. And a few of those funds, say 14 through 16, I believe, or 17, Fund 17. Is there a reason for some of these other funds? I guess that all of those are court related.
Yes,
so
all court related are much lower because fewer citation, then will be fewer income for those funds.
And then 2 of your other ones were library donation fund and police forfeiture funds.
Yeah. The donation fund, because we haven't allocated the number, so that's why it's low.
Okay, and then on the water and sewer, I'm assuming that was part of that was front loaded because we already, on the revenue side, there was Fund 42.
42 is a capital project fund. We issued the bonds, so the bond money came in.
Okay, so that's why it loaded it. Okay. Water and sewer impact fund. Why was it 1,216%?
The reason is when we budgeted, we do not anticipate that there are some impact fee, some developer. So
that was the one
yes,
time from the housing development?
Yes.
Okay. And those, of course, and I understand it's hard to tell when a project's going to start, but, I guess that's some of the things, Mr. Lane, you were talking about where we were able to do things like the fire, the fire truck, be able to adjust some of these. Well, that would be a general.
It's general fund. It's from, yeah.
Oh, that's water and sewer.
Yeah.
Impact,
You
okay.
cannot do it.
Okay. Okay, and expenditures, we should be running about 41.6%. We're running 43.7 in the general fund. you don't anticipate exceeding budget, or is that just because of the time of the year? Just the way.
Right now, the expenditure for general fund is 35% for expenditure.
Well, mine shows 43.7.
Ooh, okay, I'm looking at the wrong report, so, okay,
What page?
yeah, that's correct.
That's correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, but you don't anticipate in going over budget, though?
No.
Where we're at?
No, nobody is allowed to do that
All right.
with my watch.
Okay. Revenues, can you explain to me under the general fund revenues, under other revenues, what all does that include? Because you're at
Those
101%
include
on
franchise.
miscellaneous.
Okay, there's everything, not including property tax and sales tax.
So any revenue other than property or sales tax.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's include franchise, include charges for service, fines, and all those,
franchise fees, okay.
everything.
And, okay. And then I'm assuming the interest income's up just because of better rate.
Higher
Investing.
interest
Yield.
rate and higher fund balance.
Okay. And make sure on your graphs, under your property tax revenues, so we're on or exceeding pace from where we should be. The February drop off, was that kind of just because of January? Was our revenues were a little higher in January, so people probably
Yes.
offset?
Right.
Okay. Sales tax, where typically, and I think you went to it, was the graph where we're at in comparison to the other cities. Didn't you provide that?
They are similar.
Okay.
They're similar, because every quarter you have a bump, because some companies, small companies, they don't have to report their sales tax until every quarter.
Right, instead of monthly. Okay. And then one other, on what on the general fund, the other general fund revenues, is that the same as the miscellaneous and interest income?
It's more than that. Okay, this one, okay, if you look at the graph here, anything that is not property tax and sales tax will go in here.
Do you have that graph for us?
I don't have it up here.
Okay, just in our book.
Right.
Okay. Because you anticipate a
March.
large.
Yeah, it's the electric franchise.
Okay.
We already received it.
We did receive it, but it's not reflected in this report yet.
It will be in March.
Next month.
Because we receive it in March.
Okay. Okay. And explain one other thing under general fund expenditures. The fleet services expenditures were slightly higher due to purchase of fuel and parts, just because our fuel price has gone up also.
It's not the fuel price that up. They purchase a lot, and then they use it. So when they purchase it, it's in the expenditure. There's some inventory.
Okay, but that would lead me to believe that if we're supposed to be at about 41.6 and we're at 58.1,
Right.
we're using.
We are not using. We purchase it. It will be in the inventory.
So we're inventorying fuel?
Yeah.
Okay.
For the parts as well.
For the what?
Automobile parts.
Okay, so but I thought we were doing most of that through, how much
Enterprise.
relief will we experience through our agreement with our outsourcing with Enterprise?
We still try to, we have only few months up with Enterprise right now, but when we have more information, we'll be able to tell what it is. So.
Okay. I'll probably get with you for a little more detail on that one.
If you remember, part of our savings was we we were able to eliminate a couple positions also. So
Right.
at the end of the year is typically when we'll have a accurate figure for you on that, kind of a total figure on total savings.
Okay, but that will fall under fleet services as far as general fund expenditures?
Yes,
Okay.
and that was one of those items that was kind of an instant saving because we did not have to fill that fleet director position.
Okay.
I believe it was about $80,000 with benefits, something like that, Jennifer.
Yes, 80,000.
Okay, and we don't have, where would the expenditure on our new fire truck that we purchased, where would it fall? That won't fall under fleet services.
No, it will be in
Like
Fund 35.
35, okay. All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Big Father. Anyone else have any question or something? This your Miss Brown? Nothing? Well,
Thank you.
no more question, and thank you, Jennifer. You did a good job.
Thank you.
I want the cell tech number higher next time, okay?
Okay.
By the way, the next one, you must be Miss Sophia Trin. Would you play up rush over here? And this is Miss Sophia Trin from Colorful World Foundation. I would like you explain to the Haltom City citizen and our staff, see what are you doing and anything else.
Hello, sir, madam. My name is Sophie Trin, and I'm the founder and also the executive director for Colorful World Foundation. We are a public charity 501c3 for the underserved Asian and new immigrants throughout DFW. Through our social services, our educational services, health, medical, and things like that. So I was told that I can come here to tell you a little bit about my foundations, and then hopefully maybe you can help me in any way we can, so we can help out with the Asian communities.
Let us ask you a question. You just for Asian community, no other race, or just Asian alone, or what?
No, it's for everyone really, but it's just because we focus on the Asians. The reason for that is that there's communities for African Americans, and there are for Hispanic, Latin. However, for the Asian, not every one of us are doctors and physicians and lawyers. There's a lot of us that need help, and the languages barrier and also the culture barrier, that is why we start this foundation. A lot of people think that, we already have the program ready and all they do is go and get that program, but because of the language barrier, and also then some of you would say, well, there's translations. However, the culture will kind of make them shy and kind of don't want to be able to reach out to where they need it to be. So when we found this organization, which was, we registered with the Texas of State in May 2016, and we got our 501c3 in August of 2016. And we have done quite a bit. We have done at least, just last year alone, at least 15 health fair. So what we do, we go to churches, temples, Asian malls, and we give them free flu shots, free cholesterol panel testing, and our social services, so they can be aware how to reach out to us should they need any help. What we are looking for is to grow this into a bigger organizations where we can be both providing medical, health, educational, social service, and at the same time as an interface navigator, so we can guide the people that in need to where they need to do on the services that we do not provide. There's another thing that I'm really focusing on is mental health. Of course, mental health is everywhere, it's really needed. However, like I say, there's a population in Asian, the Asian population has not been touched on that either. So there's a really need for those things. If you want me to bring more of a proposal or anything more concrete, I'll bring it. on another times, but or else I can, explain to you or answer to you any question that you may have for me today.
Anyone have any question for Ms. Trin?
You can get onto our website. It's www.colorfulworldfoundation.org, and you will see what we do. And there's also there's a Vietnamese site which is www.muonmao.org, which is spelled like MUONMAU.org. So you have a better idea what we do and what we're trying to seek for. A lot of organizations, even the government, they try to reach out to the Asian. They have not been successful. Not just government, but also private corporations too. So I have volunteered quite a bit, and so I know that there's a need for this, and I can stress more if you would like me to.
Actually, I'm live in this area for almost 39 years, and first time I heard your organization. May I ask you, it is a big organization, and how long you been operate in this area so far? And I have not heard anything.
Right. Like I say, it's we registered with the Secretary of State of Texas in May 2016. We applied for the 501c3 in the end of July, and we got like 10 days later for the 501c3. Down the road on Broadway, there's a Vietnamese Baptist church. We go there to do health, and also the Reverend Ted Dang, he's actually one of our main advisor for this committee too. We have also Reverend Nanda. He's also the president of the Texas Buddhist Council. I recently, last year, I think I got nominated and also appointed to be the Tarrant County Human Advisory Committee member for the Tarrant County Human Services, and I'm also the Texas Buddhist Council Community Coordinator. And recently, I got invited by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas to be one of their advisory committee too. So I believe that they do believe in what we're doing, and so, it's just because we're quite new, but we move quite fast too. That's where I'm coming from.
Anyone have any question? If you don't, and Ms. Trin, I appreciate you coming here, share your information. Do you have any business card we can?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, please
Yes,
give us one of them in case we have somebody need help, and we will call you.
Yes.
And by the way, thank you so much for coming here, ma'am.
Thank you for having me and hearing me out.
Yeah. Thank you, Ms. Trin. And at this moment, I will close the work session and go to executive session based on Chapter 551 of Texas Government Code and on Section 551, 071 at 6:35. Okay, everyone, today, March 26, 2018 at the 7:08. I'm calling for a regular session, and at first, invocation and pledge of allegiance will be done by Councilman Bob Watkins. Please stand.
Pray with me, please. Heavenly Father, thank you for the blessings of this nation, of this state, and the city. We are so thankful that there are men and women that will stand up and serve and defend her. Protect them and comfort their families as they serve. We are also thankful, Lord, that we have leaders that will stand up and lead this city. Lord, you have entrusted us as stewards of your creation, and we have entrusted these leaders as stewards of this city's business. Please guide their hearts and ours as we take decisions tonight. Guide our hearts and our minds in the spirit of fairness, right thought, and speech. We confess that we are nothing without you, Lord, and our trust is in you completely. All the glory be to you, loving God, now and always, through Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit, forever and ever. Amen.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Please be seated. And at first, I would like to welcome all of you for our meeting today. My name is Ann Trung. I'm Mayor Pro Tem of Haltom City. The mayor will not be here tonight, so I will make a call tonight. And at first, I thank you, all audience present here in this chamber. And second thing, I would thank you all the council be here, and all of our staff in the city have done a good job. And at the beginning, I would like Mr. City Secretary Camacho will do announcement and event.
Thank you, Dr. Ron. The announcements for March 26, 2018, and community projects. The Carson Street under State Highway 121 will remain closed for approximately 5 months to a year, and frontage road information will be displayed on the variable message signboards. The Haltom City Senior Center will be having 2 events next month. First is the Baked Potato and Salad Supper, which is Thursday, April the 12th at 5 p.m. at the Senior Center with a cost of $6 per person, and you can purchase tickets for meals to go. Secondly, they're going to have a burgers and bingo on Saturday, April 28th at 6:30 p.m. The cost is $25, which includes dinner and 2 bingo cards, with the proceeds benefiting the Friends Helping Friends Senior Transportation Program. In addition, there will also be a bake sale and silent auction, and you can get tickets at the Senior Center, the library, or various board members. And for information, you can call 817-834-8021. The public library has teen programs, family movie night, the adult GED, ESL classes, AARP tax preparation help, and other library activities are all listed on the library's website for their dates and times. The Friends of the Library will also have their annual book sale on March 26th through the 29th, and citizens will be able to purchase books, movies, magazines, and music at fantastic prices. Also this Friday, which is March the 30th, the all City Hall facilities will be closed for Good Friday.
Thank you, Ms. Camacho. And the next item on the agenda will be a Child Abuse Prevention Month. This is one of important to me. Please, Captain Irvin, would you please present the proclamation?
First, I want to introduce Julia Summers. She's a Director of Development for Alliance for Children, and Paula Roberts, who's a member of the Board of Directors for Alliance for Children. 2018 Child Abuse Prevention Month. Whereas every child deserves a nurturing family and safe environment to grow into a healthy, productive member of the community. And whereas child abuse is one of our nation's most serious public health problems and threatens the safety of our community. And whereas 5,630 cases of child abuse and neglect were confirmed in Tarrant County in 2017. And whereas Alliance for Children provided child-focused services to 2,310 children in 2017. Whereas Alliance for Children provided prevention education to over 50,000 adults and children in Tarrant County in 2017. And whereas effective child abuse prevention, investigation, and treatment programs succeeded because of partnerships among private and public agencies, school, religious organizations, medical services, and business communities. And whereas everyone should become more aware of child abuse prevention and consider helping caregivers raise their children in a safe, nurturing environment. Now therefore, David Averitt, Mayor of the City of Haltom City, Texas, proclaims the month of April 2018 as Child Abuse Prevention Month in the City of Haltom City, Texas, and urges all citizens to work together to help significantly reduce child abuse and neglect in the years to come.
Well, I just want to thank all of you. As the captain said, you know, last year we served over 2,000 children in Tarrant County, and I was just telling him that 54 cases were in Haltom City. But because of y'all and the partnerships we have with all of the agencies that he mentioned, these children that were abused will no longer have to be abused or suffer further abuse. And also whoever abused them have been taken care of. They're either behind bars or definitely removed from the home situation. And because of that, you know, for every child that is saved, you know, and for every adult that helps protect a child, they say that 10 children are impacted positively. So we thank all of you for supporting Alliance for Children and all the services, and we love our partnership with all of the law enforcement in all the cities. So thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, and keep doing a good job.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Okay, yeah. Thank you, Captain.
Thank you.
The next one on the agenda will be a minutes, and anyone have anything to change or consideration before we make a move? If not, I'm ready for an action. Ms. Fowler.
Mr. Mayor, I move for approval of consent agenda as written.
It's just the minutes. We don't
Oh,
have
I'm
to-
sorry, the minutes.
The minutes.
Sorry, number 2, the minutes.
Yeah, number 2. And Ms. Thompson.
Yes, and this is for a second.
Yes, this minutes already approved. Okay, we got 6 and 0. That's been passed. The next item is number 3, standard of cares. Mr. Fruit. This is a second reading.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Mayor, Council. Second reading for the Standards of Care Ordinance. We're seeking approval to reinstitute these standards of care for our summer camps. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Council, you have any questions? Seems like you've done a good job. Nobody have questions, right? I'm ready for an action. Ms. Thompson.
Yes, this is to approve ordinance number O-2018-015-110 for the standards of care for our recreation programs for the elementary school age children.
Second reading.
second reading.
Yes. Anyone second? Mr. Grover.
For a second.
Okay, I'm ready for a vote. Unanimous pass. Thank you. Now, item number 4, Mr. Phelps.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Council. We were prepared to go over this agenda item tonight. We got a call from T-Mobile. This is in regards to them wanting to renegotiate their lease with us at this particular location, tower lease. But their legal decided that they had some issues with the language. So what I'm going to ask for tonight is if we could table this until the next. There's no sense for us to approve something that we just have to bring back anyway. So if we could table this to the next agenda council meeting, that'd be great.
Council, you have any question for Ms. Fell? If not, I am ready for inaction to table item number 4. Ms. Thompson.
Yes, I think at this time, if the council would consider to table the action regarding the lease amendment to the T-Mobile at 3310 Meadow Oaks Drive.
Anyone second? Ms. Grow.
For a second for that table.
Okay, I'm ready for a vote. Unanimous approved for item number 3. Number 4, I'm sorry, on T-Mobile deal. Now I'm moving to item number 5, mini services. Mr. Fong.
Mayor at the City Council, this item is an agreement with Muni Service to provide local occupancy tax program audit and administration services. Since 2004, the city has contracted many services for collection and reporting of the local occupancy taxes. And I think that they do a wonderful job for the city, and I would ask the council to review it. For reviewing this contract, the price has changed from $100 per property per year, plus agreed auditing fee and expenses, to $150 per property per year, plus the agreed auditing fee and expenses. And since we have only 7 properties within the city, so the annual fixed administrative fee will increase $350 altogether. So I will ask the council to approve the agreement. And also today, I also have the representative from Muni Service, Brenda Anderson, who is the client service manager for the company. So if you have any questions.
Council open for question. Ms. Fowler.
Ms. Fung, you're pretty self-explanatory other than the fact of what expenses would follow this, or what have been the expenses in the past?
Well, expenses for the past is every year we pay $100 per property. That
right.
is,
I understand all that on your 1,050 fee, and then your 1,800 for each audit property.
right. We haven't done any audit
Okay.
because our property, the taxes we collected is very small, so it's not
Worth auditing.
worth all the work.
Okay, but it understand in this agreement though it says 1,800 for each lodging property for an audit plus expenses. What
Expenses will be the travel expenses. They have personnel come over, so we have to pay their traveling costs.
Okay, so it would, and
The expenses are the traveling costs.
that would be only based on an audit.
Right. If we do the audit.
Okay, thank you.
Any more question? If there's no question, and thank you, Ms. Fong, and I open for the action. Ms. Fowler.
Mr. Mayor, I move for approval of the Muni Services Audit or Local Occupancy Audit and Administration Service Agreement.
Mr. Grover.
Ask for a second.
Okay, I'm ready for a vote. This item number 5, anonymous, approved with the vote 6-0. Thank you. Now I will move to the Visual Store and Citizen Forum, and anyone have on file to speak in front of council. Anyone else would like to have anything to talk or speak in front of council, please come forward. I see none. And number 6 we don't have, but 7 registration. Anyone resign? I mean registration? No? Resignation. And how about appointed or reappointed? You have one? Yeah, Ms. Watkins.
How about that? Oh, yeah. I'm going to make the appointment I did 2 weeks ago. I love it when I'm right, and I was right. I'm nominating Darren Hudson for the EDC. We have his information on file.
Ms. Fowler?
No, sir. Oh, I'm sorry. That's
You just vote on it. You don't even have to have a second. Y'all just vote. You can vote. What's your vote?
Ready?
Yeah. I just asked for a vote.
I'm ready for what? Yeah. Go ahead.
So, just for clarification, the votes for
Yeah, okay, right now.
citizen member on the Economic Development Board of Mr. Darren Hudson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
This will bring us back to where we really ought to be, where we have more non-elected officials than elected officials on the EDC, which is where it should be. Otherwise, you're kind of inbred. You've got the same 4 people voting on it in the EDC, and then coming before the council. So this is a better balance. It gives the citizens more opportunity to voice their opinions.
Darren Hudson.
Bobby? Okay, unanimous approved for Darren Hudson on the board. Thank you. Anyone else have anything? If not, I will adjourn the meeting at 7:20.
Okay, hold on.
Hang on.
You gotta go back to executive session.
Yeah, I do. I will adjourn this meeting, go back to executive session at 7:27 based on Chapter 551 of Texas Government Code and on Section 551.071. Thank you.